Well, hello once again, farming friends. Welcome back to another edition of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, your old buddy, Mr. Moose. Back on Manchester with the Soul mod, and picking up where we left off yesterday. Lots going to change around the farm today. We're going to do some things that are going to be kind of crazy. So bear with me. I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well record it and let you guys see what I'm doing. As you remember when we left off yesterday, I was stuck with the dilemma of what to do with the fruit that we were harvesting off the orange trees. Where do I put them? Well, I've come up with a couple of solutions. But in order to get that to work, I've decided I have to make a few changes around the farm. And while I was doing that, I decided, well, part of that is going to involve the Giants editor. Because I was like, well, I'll throw a warehouse down. Well, if I throw a warehouse down, I'm going to end up with grass growing through it because it's got this crazy high grass back here. Well, so I decided I'd go into the Giants editor and mess around with the grass textures and everything and get rid of the grass. And in doing so, I decided, well, while I'm in there, I'm going to get rid of the grass textures in here. And, well, so I got to do that. But in order to do it, I've got to do a lot of work around the farm. And so I've got quite a bit of work I've got to do. And some of you guys may find this boring. Some of you may find it interesting. When you make a change in the Giants editor and you import it into the game, it doesn't automatically take. You actually have to either start over with a new game, or you have to manipulate some things in a way to make it show up. Well, I'm going to manipulate some things, and that's what we're going to do. First thing you'll notice is the Bowden plate is gone. In order to get rid of that, I had to actually go into the vehicles XML file, do a search for it. There were 3 instances of it, of course, and I had to delete each one of those out manually because I could not delete those from where they sat with just a cell, item. So they had to be manually deleted out, and that's the reason they are gone. The next thing I'm going to do is get all the vehicles moved out from under here, remove these structures, and start all over again with this. But you guys will, as this comes forth, you'll see the big reveal and you'll understand why I'm going through the trouble of doing all this, because I think it will look a little bit cooler when I'm done with it. This was just me getting bored and deciding to do some things. So that's where we're at. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this little video. It's kind of silly, but it's me being sort of picky with how I get things done around here. So I got to move some vehicles out of the way and get that taken care of. And while we're doing that, we can just talk about other stuff that's going on the farm, which somebody will probably... this goes back to something that somebody said yesterday or the day before. How come you don't cut your videos? And I was like, what do you mean by cut? And he came back and said, how come you don't edit them? Because you were like, had silence there. That's just not me. I want you guys to actually see what I do when I do the gameplay. I know that doesn't necessarily interest everybody, but, I like for you guys to actually see what happened instead of just being surprised by it and go, oh, how did he get to that point? So, yeah, I probably should have recorded the edits that I did in the Giants editor, but I didn't. So, apologize for that part of it. I wasn't really sure, to be honest with you, I wasn't really sure that everything that I was going to do was going to actually work. So I just kind of messed with it for a few hours and finally got it to where I liked it and what I liked. After I tweaked it up a little bit, and then I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. I might as well record myself doing it and let you guys see it. So that's sort of where we're at. So now actually farming today, and this is going to be a little bit of the process of how do we get rid of the shed and how did I make what is going to appear. Because I don't know if y'all know it, you can't, if you add a tree into the game, or take a tree away, the only way that will actually show up is if you do it and start a new game save. But textures are a whole different story. As long as you can manipulate the texture, you can make it go away and make a new texture appear, and that's what we're going to do today. So let me just get the rest of these containers out of here real quick, and then we'll do what we're going to do. Get this manure truck out of here. So as far as everything else goes, right now all our fields are right. They're in the proper hydration state and such. So we're ready to move forward to another day. I really haven't done anything with the fruit that we took out. It's actually still sitting out at the road, which is not a big deal to me. If we lose a little bit of fruit, we lose a little bit of fruit. It's not that big a deal. It's not like in real life where it's going to rot. It's actually going to sit there. We're just not going to be able to harvest the rest of the field while I do all this. But when I'm done, it will all work out good for us because we'll have somewhere to store our fruit, as well as we'll have everything else taken care of around here, and have a new look for our equipment area, which is something that I want. So we got to move all this out of the way because we're going to have to come in here and do a little grass seeding. By the way, somebody asked me to use this thing right here the next time we do a field harvest, so I do plan on doing that when we it's sort of overkill to do it, but we will go ahead and do it just because you asked, and I like to try to accommodate you guys. So when I do my next harvest, we will use the overloader and the semi, just so you guys get to see it being used. It will come in handy when we start doing like field 20 with something other than potatoes or so. I can't use it for field 20 because the potatoes have to be done with a potatoes have to be done with something that does you can't use a screw to do potatoes. So yeah, anything with an auger on it can't be. You'd bruise the potatoes if you did that. So that's the reason I say you can't use an auger wagon or anything that's got a screw in there. Alright, all that time spent plowing this ground, and I'm doing all this to get rid of it. So but I think it aesthetically is going to look a lot cooler when we do it. I thought about moving some of the copy in the sheds from up front and putting them back here in place, but again, if I had done that, it wouldn't have shown up. I don't think it would have rendered in. So we're just going to stick with the same placeable sheds that we have here. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, just a couple more items to get out of here, and then we can move forward with my big grand plan I have here. The little Brantner trailer, a couple of weights I got to get rid of. I'll go get the front loader, bring it over here. This will get rid of the whole problem that I have with weeds as well, which is a good thing. Alright. that out of the way right there. Alright, last little trailer to get out of here. Then I gotta get the semi and the front loader. Alright. Alright, so 313,000 is what I want to end up with. Well, actually, I'm going to fast track time. I'm going to end up with a little bit more. I'm going to move the seed back here. Hopefully the sheep won't eat it. Right? Alright, drop that back there. And the time being, run over here and grab this weight with this tractor. There we go. Alright, all that stuff is out of the way. Alright, turn that off. Alright, so we go into the menu, go into garage, and we're going to sell off those two pieces right there. So we're going to get rid of these. Actually, you know what? Before I sell those off, I want to, I'm going to have to do what I want to do, I have to be on the following day. Because what I'm going to do won't take effect until the next day. So I'm going to fast track time forward to 5 a.m. And that will get us to where I can actually do what I want to do. Alright, so here we are, 6 o'clock in the morning. Alright, so we're at $372,000. So when all this is done, I'll adjust my money to be back to $372,000. I don't want to, because I'm going to sell off these sheds real quick, and which will make a little bit of money, but I don't want to actually make money on them. So 372, just remember that number. That's what we're going to go back to. Alright, so into the garage I go, and we'll come through here until I find those sheds, which they're way back here in the back. We'll sell both of them. Dunk, dunk. There we go. Those are gone. Thank you. Alright, so I need to get the semi and move some stuff out of the way. Semi and the front loader. Those are the last two things I need to do. Alright, so drop that. Start this. Nice little jump that it took there. And we'll take this on down towards the front here and park it out of the way. There we go. Turn that off. And then I need to get this guy here. And take him over. Do a little bit of work with him real quick. Drop the weight off the front. And run over here. I gotta pick up the front loader, move it out of the way. And the shovel head as well. Alright. So alright, let me get in the front here real quick and give that R to put the front loader attachment on, and grab the front loader, and I can just move this over here out of the way. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Oh, come on now. Alright. Yep, not that. That was what I was looking to do. And grab this attachment here. There we go. Alright. So everything is now out of the way, which is good. Alright, so we can take this guy down to the front. And I can pick up a seeder with him, because I need a grass seeder. So what I have gone through and done is I have redone the textures to look more like this area here. And so what we're going to do is now start to reveal that. First with a seeder and then with a cultivator. Now I've told you guys before, I've been able to cultivate through grass and stuff and get rid of it before. Somebody came back and said that that was a glitch with chop straw. I'm actually been able to do it still on Burenholm and several other maps. I think it's just the grass texture that he used on this particular map didn't work well with it. But I have had in the past been able to get rid of grass textures by doing the cultivator. And what we're going to do is I'm going to run through here with the cultivator and get rid of all of this grass. And when I do, it will reveal what I have done underneath there. And by seeding grass over this plowed area, it's going to start to reveal it as well. So as you can see, when I put the grass seed down, and I don't know if y'all know this or not, when you do seed grass in, if the designer of the map designed the map to have no grass in the area where you seed, then you don't get grass. You get what his original underlying texture was. So if you try to seed an area that never had grass in it to begin with, you end up with dirt. So that's what I'm ending up with now, is because I went through and I removed all of the grass that was originally laid out to be right there. And so now I'm ending up with dirt instead of any kind of grass, because I removed it and put in just a dirt texture. Hee hee, aren't I smart? Get rid of that little bit of pavement there. Alright. So I'm going to run back around through here real quick. And that'll be gone. So there's still a little bit of grass. Alright, now that's done. I can pull the seeder up and go put it away. And we'll be ready to do the big reveal of the rest of it. Alright, so I need to park this guy here. See there, the oranges from yesterday, that nothing has moved. Can put this up. I do not need it anymore. Alright. Now I'm going to grab the cultivator here. And if all works right, I should be able to drag this around the area where I made changes, and it should reveal the changes that I have made, which are right now being covered up by the grass. Fingers crossed, or all this was a waste of time. Alright, so I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to use this to mow down the grass, basically. Oh, there we go. Everything goes bye-bye. And what we end up with is a nice dirt area where we'll be able to have our barn set up. And then, ooh, don't get all the way into the field, stupid. You end up getting rid of all your fruit. Let me get back over here and pay attention to what I'm doing. Alright, so it's like magic, isn't it? So I'm going to run back down over here because I've actually got a little dirt road going through here now. Or a little dirt path that I put in. And drag that back. And then I want to back in here a little bit because I extended this back towards the field a little bit. I don't know if I got it all the way to the field. Let's see. Close enough. It didn't get all the way there, but it got pretty close. Alright, so we'll run down through here a little bit more. And then this should turn and head up this way. There we go. Alright. So now it's going to look like our structure actually belongs here instead of just being something that sticks out in the middle of nowhere. Now we'll run back through here, get rid of the rest of this grass that's sticking out. And then once I get all this done, I can come back, put my sheds back in place, and our work will be done. How about that? Which, to me, I sort of like the, I did sort of like the look of the concrete block, and I toyed with the idea of leaving it. The weeds going through it was driving me nuts. It just was driving me crazy. So that had to get fixed. But after I got to looking at it, it wasn't going to look right with a concrete block sitting there. Plus the vehicles sort of sat through the concrete block. They didn't actually sit right there where they belonged. They actually sank into it. So that didn't look quite right either. So and at the end, I just decided to lose it. Oh, come on. Make the turn. Make the turn. Back up. Make sure I get all of this done. So it all looks the way it was laid out in the end. Alright. So now we have a nice area and a little road coming in from that side and a little road coming in. And it should work out pretty good for us now. Alright, so we come back into here and let's go into mods. And we go to placeables. And we come all the way back here to the back. And that's 50,000. We take it and rotate that around a little bit. Get myself centered up here so I can place it in the right spot. And we'll get it right about there. Put one in place. Come here. Rotate that one around just like we did before and get that matched up. Pretty darn good, right? Looks it's off just a little bit. I don't know that I'm going to be able, I might regret doing this. Never can fine tune this. I always miss it. Like I said, I'm going to regret this. Maybe that's close. It's still off just a hair. That's gonna drive me crazy. Just get that really slow. Yeah, I got all kinds of problems here. Alright, it needs to come to the left just a hair. And I don't get just a hair, I get a whole lot. Too much. Come on. Just a tad. I think it's impossible. I think it is just impossible to get this to work. So frustrating. This is gonna make me so mad. Escape, come back into it, now try it. It's so weird. Why it's not matching. Alright, let's try it the other way then. Let's put this one in place. And then we will garage, sell that one, shop, buy one. Here's what I don't get. If I rotate this around, they should match up perfectly. Why it doesn't do that, I don't understand. It wants to be off slightly. Somebody messed this mod up when they designed it, apparently, because alright, rotate it around one more time. Sometimes if you rotate it like 360 degrees around and stop, sometimes it will snap right where you need it to go. But it is just being difficult as difficult can be now, and not wanting to line up for me. That might be as good as I can get it, kids. I think we're going to go with that. Alright, so there we go. And that is done. So now, that's what it looks like now done. I think that will look a heck of a lot better. We won't have any weeds grow in here. And it looks like it was made to be in here. And we're right up against our barn. We've got the wore out ground here, as it would look for pulling out the equipment constantly in this area. You wouldn't have grass right in here, so that all looks good to me. And then you got the grass starting back over in this area, and then we have the little road here heading on out to that. So that's good. We're good to go there. Alright, so that part is done. Now we have to head over to the other farm, and I'll just use this tractor since everything's hooked up to it. And I'm not going to bore you with replacing everything in this video. I just wanted you guys to see what I was doing, so when I start the next video, I was like, oh, ooh, look what I did. I actually got this all to work. I thought I would show you guys the process in which I went through to get it to work. So yeah. Alright, so apparently she still has oranges to sell 12 hours later, so the process of that weaning off is very slow. And we still have half of the orchard that we can harvest. The rest of it will be ready later in the afternoon. But we won't be doing any of that in this video. This is just going to be about getting the map adjusted and getting it set up for what we're going to do moving forward. So, what'd I say? $372,000 was what we needed. So I got to reset that in just a second before we put our warehouse in. Our potatoes are starting to grow. So yeah, this video will just be about getting this all set up and doing what we're going to do, and then we will worry about farming in the next video. Alright, so what I decided to do, I looked around for where to put warehouses, and there just was nowhere around the main farm, so I thought I would come back here and put it here. But I thought, after looking around, I thought, well, this would be a good area right here next to this building. Unfortunately, though, it's all high grass. So I've gone ahead and I've cleared it out as well, so we can go ahead and get rid of the grass textures in this area, and we'll be able to have a little place where we can put our barn or warehouse, fruit warehouse in for our oranges. So I just gotta get rid of the grass here again, just like we did over at the main farm. So I'll just come through with this guy here and work my way next to the building, run into the building, hit the building a little bit harder. There we go. Alright, so we'll pull right up next to it, get rid of the grass. You can see the brown is where we're taking this out. There we go. I know this is just me being anal, you know, with all this stuff. I just cannot stand to drive over here and go into the warehouse, and when I do, there's grass poking through the floor of the warehouse. I just can't stand that, you know. So this is me doing the prep work to put it into place. And like I said before, usually I would just do this, get rid of the grass using the using this method, and it would get rid of all the grass, and the grass would never grow back. But on this particular map, I haven't had any luck with that happening. So so that's why we're doing it this way. That's right. I went into the map editor and gave myself a little bit of spot. Before I do that, let's jump into here real quick, and I'll go to add money. So 372,000. Let's see, I need 25 out of that, so 75,000. So 75,000. Here we go. Alright, so that's the actual money that we had when we started this whole thing. Now I can go in here to placeables, and we can grab the one with the fruits in it for oranges, which is convenient that it does strawberries too, because we might put in a strawberry greenhouse eventually. So double click on that. I'm going to take it and I'm going to rotate it around just a little bit so it's sort of matching up with that guy there. Center up so I can make them look. And I want to, instead of putting, you may wonder why I don't put this guy right up next to him like so. It's because I want to leave enough room to pull down next to it, because in order, if you put multiple fruits in here, you have to be able to get right down next to it, to the corner in which that particular fruit is, to load that particular fruit, or at least that's been my experience with it. So, and if we want to add more fruit places, we can always come back and do more of this down the road, but this gets me started. And yeah, so I actually went in and removed. I show you. See if I can show these real quick. Come on, give me my little. There we go. I actually removed these in the editor, but again, like trees and things like that, they don't go away unless you actually, I guess if I cut this tree down, I don't know, that wouldn't get rid of it either. But these, I can't really seem to get rid of them. I've tried to whatever, but they won't go away when I run over them. So I'm kind of stuck with them. Bushes and things like that, they don't seem to go away. And it's always been my understanding that if you add a tree or take a tree out with the editor, it doesn't necessarily register unless you start the map all over again. And so that's probably the reason why that doesn't show up. But that gives us a place now to store our oranges if we have an excess of oranges. Now the other thing I thought about doing was going into downtown and adding one of the Rosenthaler stores downtown where the McDonald's is. I could there's a spot in a parking lot there where I could plop one in, and it actually would fit in that area. So we might do that. I might put the little Rosenthaler store in there, and that'll give me an instant sell point where we can sell things off. But at the same time, we can try using the kiosk. Maybe put another kiosk up somewhere to have that available. But that'll give me a place to store fruit as well. So that's my solution so far, and that's going to work for me. So now I have to go through the task of putting everything back into the equipment storage and getting everything regrouped here at the farm. So no big deal. I won't make you sit through that. But that brings you up to date on where I'm at with the farm and what I've been working on. So it took me a couple of attempts to get it to where I like it, and I'm happy with it. I probably should have carved out a place to put that kiosk where I would actually enjoy that kiosk. I might still do that down the road. We might adjust that later on. But yeah, and if I do that, I'll actually record myself doing that in the Giants editor and show you exactly what steps I went through with it. And again, I apologize for not doing that part. I probably should have. But it was one of those things where I knew that going in, this was going to be a trial and error thing, because having not done it before, I wasn't really sure whether or not I would be able to make all the changes and get them to take in the game. And it took me a while to figure out exactly how to get it to reveal itself. The first time I started doing it, I was actually plowing the ground and reseeding it to get it to come back. And then it was only by accident that I figured out I could cultivate it. But I couldn't get anything to happen within the first... I couldn't get that to happen on day one. When I came in and it was... let's say that was Monday, right? Or what is today in this game? Today is Friday, so Thursday is where we began. Well, on Thursday, I wasn't able to cultivate and do that. That was my first thing I tried, was to cultivate all this over and get it to reveal the texture, and that would not work. So my next thing was to get the plow out and plow through everything and see if I could make that work. Well, that worked, but it was going to take forever for me to plow everything up and then come back and reseed it. And when I reseeded it, it gave me all the proper textures. So I did that, and for some reason I did a sample spot to see if it would work. And when I did, then I fast forwarded a couple of days, and it held up. And then I ran a cultivator through it just to make sure that everything was right. And when I did, it started revealing the rest of the map for me. That's when I realized, oh, well, as long as I start the next day, I can get it all set up. So That's sort of how I came to where I'm at with it. It might have not been the right process, but it was the process that I did to get it to this state. So I don't ever know how much of this grass will grow back. I really don't care if it grows back. I sort of would like to get rid of it completely, but I did want to leave a little bit of it, and I didn't know exactly. The thing about it in the editor is I don't actually see all of this change that I've made in the editor. In my editor, that field still comes way out to here. And all I did was I could go in and manually change the field size, but I didn't want to do all that. I just went in and fixed it where if you did reseed this area, this was the texture that you would get. And I just adjusted the textures in it. And I only came out to here. If I had gone just a little bit further into it, I probably could have gotten it, but I didn't want to go too far and have the field edge be dirt right up to the field. I wanted there to be a little bit of grass in here, a little bit of ground cover. So I think it looks okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, right. Well, that is going to be it. My next task is to get all the equipment back underneath here and get everything rearranged. And then we'll get back to farming. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Found it interesting maybe. I know it might not have been the awesomest thing in the world, but you might have found it interesting to see how I got to this stage. And rather than just explain it to you, I thought I would go ahead and do a video showing you how it got to there. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And of course, as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And I'll do another video for you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.